worked there, that didn't work there very long, that we got rid of real fast, who used that to get girls to come back. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, you want to see what's behind? You know what was behind the door? A bunch of dirty clothes, a bunch of slackers, a bunch of stoned slackers, layabouts. But when you put private on the door,
it became desirable.
It became desirable. People wanted to get in there. And that was, to me, the definition of what hipsterism is. All you've got to do is make it seem exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even, and it's not about what
is
good.
the inside track. I'm buddies with the artists. We can take you to the private parties. And you know, like the big club scene, it has a lot of that. And hipsters, ironically, will... Thanks for the signal, Ace.
No doubt. I mean,
a lot of the a lot of the hipsters will revile the club scene. Oh, it's so fake, blah blah blah. And it's like, but you're doing the exact same thing. You're just not being honest about it. You know, like in the club scene, they have the velvet rope,
mm-hmm.
and they have the room that you pay extra for to get in, and you know, and it's all the same thing, wanting to get laid, essentially.
Yeah, there's you know, it's funny, working at the bookstore,
mm-hmm.
when I started there, I was like, oh, you know, I'm really excited to see what people are reading. But it kind of turned, it became kind of dismal for me. Because it's like, what people are reading is smut.
You know, it was funny, I was thinking, I don't know Jeff very well. We've only just met like the past month or so, thanks to David, Bill Drummond, past 2 months. And he's going to probably think the worst of me, because the first book I was attracted to was this book of pictures of car crashes from the 50s.
No, it's, you know, I shouldn't, you know.
And I was thinking, I need to go find the intelligent books. Where's the architecture books? That's what
right.
That's what I was really looking for when I came in here. Believe me.
The car crashes are kind of cool, actually. You know, like, I mean, that's me being subjective.
Well,
the thing that I'm seeing is that a lot of women are coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're buying romance novels.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And the romance novels are stories like The Sultan and the Sex Slave. And so it's a story of a woman who's been captured in some war, and the Sultan has her. And she knows that the Sultan's just going to use her as a sex slave, but maybe the Sultan will marry her. And in the end, the Sultan falls in love with the sex slave. But meanwhile... And there are these like...
Meanwhile...
Yeah, right. There are these levels of language where you have to take it from romance novels over to erotica, depending on a few words being changed. And then it goes from erotica to social sciences. Because once you get into like real pornographic writing, you can't, I don't know why, you can't shelve that with romance or any of that. You have to shelve it in psychology, right? I mean, pretty much, put it in psychology. And I don't know, that's kind of an outrageous statement in and of itself there, right? I mean, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm going to shelve this over here with next to, like, mental disorders.
The first time we've gone through a drive-thru on this show. Woohoo! We can be like those two.
I feel kind of bad, like I recommended this. I never come to this place, but I was thinking that...
we could do like the Sonic guys.
You know, I'll just take like a medium strawberry limeade. Or do they have slushies? Like a medium strawberry slushie.
Okay. I'll have 2 medium. Make that 3 medium. Did you say strawberry? Yeah. 3 medium. Or I'm sorry, 1 medium strawberry slushie and 2 medium lemon berry slushes. Mm-hmm. Nope, that's it. You don't want to do anything to piss people off because they can always spit in your food.
Yeah, right. I know. That's the like.
I never understood the people who like to try and prank.
I know.
Restaurants, fast food places. Unfortunately, when you, especially fast food places, when you're dealing with the low end of the scale and people who are low end of the scale as far as education, and they don't have much to lose by spitting in your drink. You better treat them well.
I know, these people are like...
And I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way. I mean, there are a lot of teenagers who work. It's sort of their first job or whatever.
And, and they don't care at all.
No.
And that's kind of, that's kind of a scary thing. I've always tried to be really nice. You know, I started, one of my first things when I was like 15 was working at McDonald's, and then I worked at a Sonic.
Yeah.
And it sucked. It was hard work.
Oh, I worked at a Hardee's, and before that I worked washing dishes at a Furr's cafeteria. It was...
Right. It's hard work.
I was a failure at both occupations.
Yeah, I didn't last.
I worked a month in each.
You know,
I quit the one to work at another, and then I got fired from the other.
You're lucky.
I was, yeah, and then I went to work, I went to work in the Medical Plaza building over here cutting grass, and I loved it. It was my summer job while I was going to college. It got me through, and then I went, when I was floundering around in college trying to figure out what I wanted, because I was a very frustrated art student who was also taking drafting. And, I was very naturally gifted at art, and drafting I was horrible. Talk about not having any discipline or anything.
I know, it's drafting is very, in like isometric perspective, and like all the things that you have to know to be a draftsman.
I've taken those classes. Those were kind of interesting, but actually very challenging to try and take planes and intersecting planes and try and figure out how things are supposed to look and visualize it abstractly. Not abstractly as in abstract art, but abstractly as in trying to get your mind around what two objects may look like when they intersect each other. Complicated.
Kind of three-dimensional rotations. I mean,
on a two-dimensional surface.
Yeah, right. The drafting is very difficult. I've had just superficial experience of it, and I respect those who are good at it. As a matter of fact, there are a couple of architect students who came into the Keyhole, and they're like, oh, you know, we're not artists. We're architect students. Going, oh no, you don't understand. Like in my worldview, you're an artist. Yeah, you're so far beyond what a lot of people here can do.
Artists with a lot more discipline.
Yeah, right. And that's the tree of art. And the tree of art is the lower branches are so infrequently climbed that they're almost dead in this culture. Like people can't go back.
Well, I propose that an art education should actually start with you don't get to touch any art materials in your first couple of years of art school, except that you have to take. Well, you don't have to, but it'll behoove you in the future to go to these free labs and develop your techniques and draw and paint and do all this stuff. But during the day, you're going to be taking business classes, business and marketing.
Really? See, I think the artist. I think that's its own science. Like that's what I'm trying to start a business to do. It's like that can eat all of your time as an artist if you're focused on it.
Well, the thing is, what we're talking about is essentially the idea that what we really need to do, and not to sound elitist about it, but what we really need to do is scare all the flakes away.
Right.
All the flaky people who've decided this is recess, this is play, this is fun. And we also need to say, okay, you're going to be an artist. Chances are, as an artist, you're not going to be able to find work in your chosen field. You have to have more discipline than any other profession in order to even hope to succeed. Not to succeed, but to have the hope of success. And so, while you're an art student, you're going to be taking some practical classes that'll, if you fail at being an artist, you can fall back on in other ways. But it'll also give you the tools to develop as an artist, as a business person, to say, oh, well, this is the different types of businesses, this is the way galleries are run, this is why people have to do the things they have to do to make money, this is how I can make money.
Right.
You know?
Well, they definitely need a stronger emphasis on what the artists ought to know about the business aspect of it. Like, none of them know what, like in the state of Missouri, no artist that I've met knows what a Form 149 is. No artist that I have met knows how to copyright their work through the Library of Congress. None of them.
I don't know that either. I should be copywriting this stuff.
Yeah, well, you can. It's as simple as copying it and sending it to the Library of Congress. And what I tell artists is that you can do it for $35 and I can do it for $50, and that's business. And I'm not telling you how. I mean, I tell you how, but most of the artists I'm dealing with, it's like, you know, I offer a professional service. You're an artist. If you want to be the person who's providing your own professional services, go out there and learn about it. But I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to start to understand all the tax implications and to figure out how you're going to get your tax-exempt status on your sale of art, or whether you're going to be responsible for sales tax or use tax. It's like, if you want to go learn all those things, you should know them, but you don't necessarily want to do them. It's like, you can't know if somebody's ripping you off if you don't know the market. So the Art Institute, and some of the artists I've talked to, they know. The Art Institute has told them in a class setting they need to copyright it, but they don't teach them how. Because I don't even think they know. Like, it's so sad over there. I don't think they actually even know the process.
But, again, what we're saying is the first, you know, like in college, sometimes some of the undergraduate classes were deliberately super, super tough. And the reason why they were that way was because the professor said, I want to test this person to see if they really want it. Because I'm not going to give this stuff away.
Yeah, right. Well, I think rendering is pretty crucial. Like, I think that's a really, like people need to go through a rigorous process of learning how to render in graphic. You know, just like perceive the world, reproduce it.
That's the other thing. And I'd say for at least your first 2 years in art school, sure I'm paying for the right thing here.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yeah, no doubt. What, do they have like
enter your zip code.
They have the little credit card machine right there. Man, times are changing.
I just entered the zip code for Topeka, which is 66606. Hey, it approved me. Look at that.
Now you can, if that's not the credit card zip code that bill goes to, just say it wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Except the bank will close down my credit card. Right. It's a debit card. But the idea of my idea, and you know, and maybe it's one of many ideas. Maybe somebody's applying this. The idea is not only you give artists skills, but you get rid of the flaky. The thing that really bummed me out about art, and I don't know if I told you this, but I told Jessica, was that I went to the senior shows at my school. And granted, it's not a big name art college, you know, just a state university. But I went to the senior shows, and I went, oh my God, I've seen 9th graders in high school, 7th graders in junior high did better work than this. Nobody ever bothered once to tell this person they suck.
You're right.
You know?
I know, and yet they graduate with a degree. Completely valid. And that you don't see that in medical. You don't see that in...
Oh, no, because if you suck, somebody dies.
You're right. I know, and that's, I mean, so art has had the teeth ripped out of it. I mean, it's just like, now it's just like this toothless thing that gums the world in order to describe it.
And it gets weaker and weaker and weaker because... Oh, that's all right. Oh. Gotta love gang. Which one's the strawberry?
That first one.
Oh, okay, cool. You gotta love those gangs of schoolgirls. We have...
They get the receipt.
Okay, thanks.
I can hold one of those for you if you'd like.
Yeah, because apparently my cup holders are buried under
Sonic!
Massive electronics. Thank you.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
No.
No?
Very odd. I'm just really surprised that the strawberry is white. But, you know, this has a lemon in it? This can't be right.
No, that's a lemon berry slush.
He was wrong. It's okay.
Here's straws. Hopefully this car is not in a hurry to get out of here.
You know,
The receipt in my wallet.
fast food is kind of an oxymoron. Or, you know, it's like one of those 1984 newspeak kind of concepts.
Yeah, it's not fast anymore. It's just, you're just paying for less quality.
It's just like
You're paying for the instantaneous. It's factory food. That's the word.
Cisco.
Have you ever seen the movie Food Inc.?
Mm-hmm.
Good documentary.